Hello, it's Gabriel, and I'm here, Volume 6, my education series. It's going to be about resistance band workouts. So I claimed in On Unity that a resistance band can do the work of a whole gym if you know how to be creative, and if you have a pull-up bar, because the pull-up bar acts to create it like a cable. So if you're ever at the gym and you see those things you can move up and down, that's kind of like what you can get with a resistance band with a pull-up bar. And then you might be like, what about the other things? Well, you can just use your arm as a kind of rotate or as a movable cable height, and then you can use your feet as a similar with a similar repositioning of the cable. So the way I ended my last video was talking about how you can stretch with the band, so I'm just going to get right into it. I'm not going to do like a whole lot, but just kind of demoing what I mean. So in this position, my quad is getting a stretch, and I can move forward, I can extend my quad, I can flex it, and yeah, depending on what way you angle your core, you can make this more of like a groin thing, or yeah, more of like a quad and oblique stretch. But it's an active stretch, you're really working the muscle while you're doing it. And then if you just want like a straight press, you can also do that where you're in a quad stretch and you flex your glute, kind of. And then yeah, you can press right into it. So yeah, you can do that on both legs. I'm just going to do one leg for each of these. So yeah, you can do the groin. Okay. So with your groin, you can just really drop all your weight into it and put your foot down. And that's hard. And the more you spread your feet apart, the harder it is. And then yeah, if you rotate your core towards the leg, it's a little harder. You can also kind of turn this into the groin stretch I showed at the end of my last one, where you bend your knee and rotate your leg in, so you get those abductors. And then from there you can take it into a kind of like an extended quad stretch and extended quad extension. But yeah, one thing that gets me really sore when I do this is just trying to put your foot on the ground, bringing it back up. It works both your groin muscles, because my left leg right now has to squeeze pretty hard to get my right leg on the ground. And yeah. So that's the quad and the groin. And then you can also get your hamstring. Obviously, this is the one that's just pretty obvious. You can just stretch it, you can pull, you can bring it down. Again, yeah, rotating your core is going to get different hamstring muscles. So yeah, if you just step down, you'll really squeeze your hamstring. And yeah, it's a good workout. It's good for helping your joints out, because I can go from a decent stretch but it's always active because you're with the band, into a lunge and then back and working on your balance and yeah. So if your band is too weak, you can just wrap it around the thing, the handlebars a couple times, and that way you'll get a shorter band length and more resistance. This is pretty good for me. Yeah, I've been a little tight since the tournament still. Yeah, still working on it, but anyway. Then you can get into a stretch of your, what do you call that? Your you can stretch your glutes. Glutes are a little bit harder to stretch. You might want to like lift with one of your hands, and then yeah, you can still get it if you sink lower. You can get it, and yeah, you can also do a wider range of motion with glutes. So again, don't hurt yourself. Like I do injure myself stretching like enough that no one should really take my advice about any of this. But I usually injure myself without the band, so. So, whatever, I'll keep going. So that's pretty much like the 4 quad stretches I do with the band. You can also do the obvious one on your back, where you're doing the same hamstring stretch, just on your back, which is hard to show right now. And yeah, you can do a lot of like dynamic ones, and then rotating your leg from the hamstring to the groin to the quad into the quad press, and yeah, just mixing it up. It's a more relaxing workout for your legs, but you can also do the intense. I'm gonna grit my teeth through this kind of workout with the band, so I'm gonna show some of that. So how about the pulling the bow? That's one I used to do a lot. So you just kind of like open up your hand. How about, there's just the shoulders. You can get those loose. So yeah, you can kind of mix up a lot of shoulder exercises where you're going. I try to keep my hands open when I do these band workouts. One thing I like about the bands is you don't always have to have your hands in a fist, because it's like, I don't know, it seems like if you're subconsciously angry, you like subconsciously flex your jaw muscle. And I think there's like a ways of activating emotional systems through muscle movements. Like I said earlier, like raising your arms or yoga. So try to have open hands when I do these. And you can always mix it up too. You can rotate your hands up. Another good one is just pulling, just doing straight. So cable time. Here we go. See, it's obviously harder to do full range of motion like you could get with a cable. But it's okay. You can still do a small number of reps and then rotate your chest. And then, just keep going. Okay. So yeah, there's basically like a million variations you can do. I tend to do a lot of just the small shoulder extensions and like just a lot of that stuff where I'm trying to reach. You do reach resistance, and then when you're playing frisbee, you get that. And I do stuff with tennis balls too, so you get the, you're not gonna get the hand movement from doing the band, but you can get the reach from the band and the squeeze from the ball. So those are kind of like the easy ones, I would say. But then there are some like legitimately like struggle bus kind of workouts you can do with this. So I'm gonna embarrass myself a little bit. I'm gonna do them, and make fun of me. I would make fun of me. So this one's like you're gonna pivot. Pivot, but your hips are gonna be perpendicular to your feet. And then it's a straight shoulder press. This might be better if I go over here. Okay, here we go. So I'm pivoting, Band goes under my foot, kind of sink into it a little bit, and then and yeah, obviously I do that one on both sides. That's tough. And then if you want to get the oblique a little differently, you can get just put the band beneath your foot in the same position, and then just do a straight pull on the band. And then you can work in some like curl with it if you want to, or some lat pull or whatever you want. And then there's the classic, the one that's probably my favorite, which is the, what do you call it, hang cleans. Oh, here we go. So you can actually keep your arms above your head for this, or you can drop them in and then get in your squat and then press out of it. And then there's deadlifts you can do. So deadlift is like, it's the one you can mix up the most with, but you're not really going to be able to see it. So like, let's say I can put my foot on top of the band, like just on top of both straps. I can put my foot in between, just like on one strap. And then I can pull on one strap, or I can pull on both straps. And then you can also make it a single leg deadlift, both legs. So I'll do a couple, see what variations I can cook up here. So this is just a deadlift with a row. And so the lower you grab on the band, the more resistance you get. And then if I really want to make it hard, I can grab the band beneath my feet. You kind of have to grab both though, because it kind of slides a little bit. And then yeah, if you I don't know, if you like grab, if you're grabbing the one that's on the bottom and you move your hands to the outside, it's going to get harder. In the middle, it's going to be the easiest. And then if you want to do some single leg deadlifts, you pretty much always are going to be standing on both bands, and yeah. And you want to get like the joint of your foot, like the ball of your foot, on the band, and not the arch of your foot. And yeah, so you can also grab lower if you just reach through the hoop, and then you guys can't really see that, but okay. Anything else I really want to show with the band? Well, yeah, you can do good mornings too, which are good mornings are when you take an Olympic bar and you do hip hinges. So with a band, it's just obviously the same thing, except instead of a bar, you have a band. So I would recommend using your arms to kind of stabilize. And with good mornings, you're actually supposed to go really slow and not worry so much about the weight. And then, yeah, obviously you can just do rows. I haven't really used the pull-up bar too much. You can also do a tricep press, which is like this kind of a thing. And some people do abs with this, where they go and then you can make it weirder if you want to. And then you can also do core the other way, which is just stability. So like, and then you can work in some core rotations or some, like that's not really a shoulder press, that's mostly just core, like. And then yeah, any other cable exercise you can do on the band. That's probably enough. I would say you can get these on Perform Better Superbands. For men, I would recommend, this is my second one, I would recommend starting with purple. For women, I would recommend starting with black, the color. And the color varies the width. So this is like some like 1.5 inches or slightly more than an inch. And then purple is like 1 inch and black is like 3/4 of an inch or something. If you look at the University of Alabama football team during their warm-up, they use these bands. They're really good for resistance running, like Dwayne Wade and that Patriots receiver who has the record for multiple 200-yard games in a row.